Good evening. Today is Tuesday, October 3rd, and this is the Hendrick Hudson Board of Education meeting. Can I have a motion to open the meeting?
Motion to open.
Can I have a second? All in favor? All right, the board will be going into executive session for the purpose of collective negotiations under the Taylor Law, medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment or promotion or demotion or discipline or suspension or removal of a particular person or corporation. Can I have a motion to move into exec?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, the board will be back at approximately 7 p.m.
Good evening, everyone. We are gathered here this evening, as we do each year, to celebrate those who received tenure in the prior spring. So for those of you who may not know this, tenure is granted in the spring, but it actually does not take effect until the first day of the next school year. And everybody came back. So we are delighted to have you here. This is such an important benchmark for educators. Everyone knows that, and I'm very happy to be able to celebrate with all of the folks that are seated here tonight. I needed an assistant, and you couldn't ask for a better assistant than the one I have. So Jane is going to be my Vanna White and help me pass out yet another set of goodies. All right, so let's start, if we may, with our teaching assistants. We all know how important our teaching assistants are to our program. They're indispensable. And so I'd like to, I'm going to have you come up. We're not making big speeches tonight, so are you happy? I thought so, Danny. Okay, so first, can I have Antonella Croisi? Thank you. Marianne DiPietro? Arlene McIntosh? Lauren Price? Did I miss anyone? Because sometimes people decide to come at the last minute. So a few TAs that could not be with us this evening. Luciano Franceschi Robledo. Kelsey Pell. Paola Pavella. And Christine White. Thank you, everyone. We really couldn't do this without you, so we appreciate you. I'm going to pass you this. And now I'd like to turn our attention to our teachers. And this year we have another powerful crowd of candidates. You ready? If I may, Alexis Albano. Danielle Cohen. Robin DeGrasse. Sandra Fearman. Anne-Marie Flynn. Jessica Knobloch. Marissa Legato. And Danielle Sugarman. A stellar crowd. Thank you. Outstanding group. And we will turn our attention now to 3 administrators. Okay. Assistant principal at the high school, Nick Katsaris. Principal at Blue Mountain Middle School, Anthony Giovanni. And principal at Hendrick Hudson High School, Lauren Scollins. So the work that we do each day collaboratively is what makes a difference for kids. We have teachers here from middle school, elementary school, from special content areas, and then gen ed classrooms. So I'm very proud of all of you. I'm happy to be your colleague and to collaborate with you going forward. Congratulations.
Good evening. Today is Tuesday, October 3rd, and this is the Hendrick Hudson Board of Education meeting. May we all please stand for the pledge.
Our allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's what we did on my.
All right, before we get into the agenda this evening, I just want to acknowledge that Dr. Lauro is not here this evening with us. A communication did go out. I'm sure most of you received it. He fell ill last week and he's currently recovering. He's doing well, and we'll keep the updates coming. For now, we have Dr. Roller, who stepped up to help us out, at least for this week, to help us get through. So the board is grateful for Dr. Roller's help while Dr. Lauro is out. Thank you. Okay, so to begin, can I have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening? Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, and today we have revised our agenda to include the appointment of the superintendent of schools, Mr. Michael Trombley. May I have a motion to approve Mr. Trombley?
Motion to approve.
I have a second? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, so before we move ahead, I'd like to call Mr. Trombley, our new superintendent of Hendrick Hudson, to the mic to say a few words to the community.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, Acting Superintendent Roller, Acting Superintendent Dr. Lauro, who is listening in spirit, students, members of the administration, faculty, staff, our honored tenured guests who are still around enjoying the food, and all members of the Hendrick Hudson Sailor community. It is with immense gratitude and a profound sense of responsibility that I approach the role of serving as your superintendent of schools. You have placed your trust in me, and that act is truly humbling. And I will strive every day to continue to earn and keep that trust. First and foremost, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Board of Education for entrusting me to serve the district. Your dedication to the community's educational success and your tireless efforts throughout the search process were inspiring. I pledge to partner with you closely to ensure that our district continues to thrive and provide the best possible educational environment for our students at all times. I must also express my appreciation to the members of the superintendent search process for their expertise and guidance throughout the search. Dr. Lauro, Ms. Tadigan, Dr. Terranova, who I believe is watching us from home.
Yeah.
You shepherded a supportive process where I was able to get to know the district intimately and come to a clear conclusion that my skills and experience could be of service. To my esteemed colleagues who are here today, both past and present, I want to acknowledge the invaluable role you have played in my professional and personal growth. Your mentorship, collaboration, and support have been instrumental in shaping my educational philosophy and leadership style. I'm honored to have shared this journey with you and will carry your wisdom into this new chapter. Last, but certainly not least, I'd like to thank my family, who has been an unwavering source of strength and encouragement. I hail from a family of educators and those who serve the public. Your support has allowed me to pursue my passion for education and focus on serving others. I'm grateful for your sacrifices and your belief in me. To my loving wife, Stephanie, your tenderness and care for our own children helped shape my approach to supporting the children of others. You're an amazing wife, mother, friend, and doctor. And I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself to the students, faculty, staff, and other members of the Sailor community. My approach to serving you will be guided by 3 principles. First, you can always expect me to act with integrity. Honest, transparency, and ethical conduct are non-negotiables in my leadership. They are also traits that I expect of my teammates. I'm committed to maintaining the trust you have placed in me by upholding the highest standards of integrity. Second, I'm committed to putting the service to the district before myself. I firmly believe that my role is to serve this community with unwavering dedication. Your needs and aspirations for the students will be at the forefront of every decision I'm a part of. Lastly, I will tirelessly strive for excellence and place students at the heart of every decision. Our students are the reason we are all here. Their well-being and success will be my top priority, and I'm dedicated to fostering an environment where every student can thrive and reach their fullest potential. I'm excited to begin to sail along alongside of you. Together, we will foster a vibrant, innovative learning community where every student and staff member has the opportunity to excel. I'm eager to listen, learn, help, and work collaboratively with all stakeholders to ensure Hendrick-Hudson School District remains a shining example of educational excellence. And one final note, since joining the United States Air Force at the age of 18, I've always been proud to call myself an airman. Today, I'm just as proud and even more excited to now call myself a sailor. Thank you. I look forward to beginning the journey.
Thank you. Welcome. We're so happy to have you here with us.
Very happy to be here. Thank you.
Carmen, do we have anybody signed up this evening for audience? Yeah. Okay. We were planning to take a break and pause. However, we kind of got here faster than I expected. Do you all want to take a break before we get into the guts of our agenda, or do you want to keep moving? We'll keep going. Okay, yeah. I think maybe before we get to those 56 resolutions. We're gonna do that. Okay, so I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, or if anyone has anything to pull this evening. Anything to pull? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion to approve the consent agenda. Can we have a second? Second. All in favor? Great. And we're already up to committee reports. No, I skipped the page. We have no presentations this evening. Dr. Roller, would you like to give a superintendent's report?
Sure. Two quick things. One, a thank you to everyone, and I mean that sincerely, everyone in this entire community. If you're not here, if you are here, who helped to make homecoming weekend such a wild success. We were very challenged on Friday and feeling a little bit uncertain, but I really appreciate everyone working together to pull off a fabulous weekend for the kids. So thank you very much. One future note, when we meet again here, we will have our second in a series of workshops about early childhood development. So Dr. Peg Oliveira from the Yale University Giselle Institute will be here all day long, really, having 3 separate sessions, one with just administrators, one with parents and teachers, and then one in the evening with the Board of Ed to talk about early childhood development and some of the stresses that children are facing. How do we design beautiful, warm, welcoming spaces in which they can blossom? So we're looking forward to Dr. Oliveira joining us. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, the next section of the agenda this evening is some policy readings. As we've mentioned at each board meeting, we have a long laundry list of policies that need updating or removal or adding or creating. So this evening, I think we have 4. And we can begin with the 2 that are second readings before we move on to the first readings, if that works for you.
Yes, we have copies of them. I have in the bottom of your card.
Okay, so the first policy is a revision second reading of policy 5454, student automobile use. No, you said. Are you going to read it?
Or do you have to read it, or can we?
We have to read, we have to begin reading them.
And then
Someone
we
read some more.
For a lot of changes that you need.
For the, no,
Just start reading it all.
you have it? Nope. Student driving and parking. No student shall drive or be a passenger in a motor vehicle during school hours unless specific permission is granted by the principal or their designee for an acceptable reason. For example, medical appointment. Written permission.
Motion to waive reading.
anyone have any comments on this before we vote? Question?
Did we change anything from last?
We did, we made some adjustments. We changed the language to be more inclusive of all of our students. And we just took out one word about the driving record. I think we took away the word clean.
Okay. So this is our second reading of the policy, so the board can vote to approve this policy change. Can I have a motion to approve the student automobile use, driving and parking policy 5454?
Motion to approve policy 5454.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Right. Next on the agenda is the second reading of policy 4421, homebound instruction.
4421, homebound instruction. Homebound instruction is a service provided to.
Motion to waive the reading.
A second.
Second. All in favor? Okay. So what were the changes to this one, just so we can recap since we're not reading it?
With hours, the way that they think of the near state. There's another change. So the second change that you'll see is or disciplinary issues crossed out this time. After speaking with our attorneys, because as I reread this and reread the regs, it does not discuss disciplinary issues. The commissioner is still out on are we adding more time to tutoring? So we will stick to tutoring if you're disciplined, if you're suspended. For the typical hours, the only time that this will be impacted is if the student did not make it to school because of medical reasons. So that was the second thing we took out.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve policy 4421, homebound instruction?
Motion to approve policy 4421.
In a second. All in favor? All right. Right now, this evening, we're going to be doing our first reading of policy 0105, diversity, equity, and inclusion in education. Let me. I think you should.
Okay, we're gonna read this one fully through, okay, guys? Policy 0105, diversity, equity, and inclusion in education. The Hendrick Hudson Central School District Board of Education believes that a diverse and inclusive environment is the most effective and equitable learning environment for all students. For the purpose of this policy, A, diversity incorporates but is not limited to race, color, ethnicity, nationality, religion, socioeconomic status, veteran status, education, marital status, language, age, gender, gender expression, gender identity, sexual orientation, mental or physical ability, genetic information, and learning style. B, equity incorporates but is not limited to seeking fair treatment, access, opportunity, and advancement for all. C, inclusion incorporates but is not limited to ensuring everyone has fair, balanced, and equal access to the processes, activities, and decision-making which ensure opportunities and resources are available to all. The Board of Education is committed to providing a positive, safe, welcoming learning environment in which all students are free from discrimination and benefit from inclusive practices, and a shared commitment to recognize, understand, and systematically address disparate educational experiences and student outcomes where they may exist. In furtherance of the Board of Education's commitment to fostering an inclusive culture, equitable allocation of resources, and the elimination of barriers to education, the superintendent of schools or designees shall engage in ongoing examination and continual improvement of the learning environment and instructional materials to ensure equitable access, inclusive practices, and a welcoming environment for all students, staff, parents, and community members. Develop individual and organizational knowledge, skills, and practices to create a culturally responsive and affirming environment in which all students have opportunity to reach their fullest potential. Prioritize understanding and address biases, barriers, and disparities that may impede a student's ability to reach their fullest potential. Review district policies and practices to ensure equity and access for all students with an intentional focus on vulnerable and marginalized populations. Design hiring practices that work towards diversifying the applicant pool for all district vacancies and implement anti-bias protocols in the hiring process. Include budgetary support for this policy, including professional development, staffing, curriculum, resources, and programmatic experiences. Encourage participation from all stakeholders in community building conversations. The superintendent or designees will work to ensure that curriculum, instructional materials, and practices and extracurricular programs reflect the district's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Educational materials and experiences should reflect a range of perspectives and experiences, including those of historically underrepresented groups. The superintendent will create practices to implement this policy and will report on progress to the Board of Education at least annually.
Thanks for reading it. That was our first reading of the EEI policy, and we will bring that back for a second reading.
Do you want to ask anyone if they have any comments before we move on or questions? If we know.
Yes, does anyone have any questions? Okay. All right, so the next one is really interesting. Through all of Erica's work on policy and the policy committee, we realized that there's no real formula for putting in new policy or adopting policy, amending it. So the next one that we're going to be reading is the first reading of policy 2410, formulation, adoption, amendment of policies.
So just for some
We need
background.
a policy to keep the policies up to date.
So there, we did have policy 2410 on the books. It's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. The policy committee met and did not feel that was really as holistic as we need, or as much of, didn't check as many boxes. We wanted to make it more of a robust process. So here, I will read it and we can comment. This is the first reading. Policy 2410, formulation, adoption, amendment of policies. The Board of Education recognizes that the adoption of written policies constitutes the basic method by which the board exercises its leadership in the operation of the district. Policies may be proposed for adoption, change, or repeal at any regular or special board meeting. The board delegates to the superintendent of schools the responsibility and authority to establish any and all rules, regulations, and/or procedures necessary to implement and maintain its policies. Accordingly, the superintendent is directed to review and, as deemed necessary, recommend to the board appropriate revisions to policies. The superintendent should engage in preparation of recommended additional policies as needed, consultation with district staff and community members on an advisory basis, and presentation of proposed policy in draft form to the board for consideration prior to action. The superintendent will encourage research, evaluation, and planning activities within the district in order to guide the board in developing appropriate policies and goals. District staff members and members of the community may suggest to the board the adoption of new policies or revision of existing policies by communicating such suggestions to the superintendent or the president of the board. To assure these groups a reasonable opportunity to advise the board of their reactions to and feelings about proposed policies, no official board vote shall take place on a policy adoption, change, or repeal at the meeting during which it is first presented to the board for consideration, except that the board may waive the second reading under 2 circumstances. 1, unless the board by majority vote of all members present at the meeting at which the first reading is held determines that immediate adoption is necessary to comply with New York State or federal law, or 2, the board by the unanimous vote of all members present at the meeting at which the first reading is held waives the necessity for a second reading. Policies and amendments to policies shall be effective immediately upon adoption unless otherwise indicated. To adopt, change, or repeal a policy requires a majority vote of the entire board. Rules and regulations established by the superintendent pursuant to a board policy are subject to modification by board action at any meeting. The final adoption of policy shall be recorded in board minutes. Only those written statements so adopted and so recorded shall be regarded as official board policy. Every board and staff member shall have access to the board policy manual.
Thanks for reading it.
Yes.
Does anybody have any comments or questions? Yeah.
I'm not like an English major, but so if I'm wrong here, tell me I'm wrong. That second to last piece on the first page, to adopt, change, or repeal a policy, should that say requires a majority vote of the entire board, or should it, should it, a majority vote of the entire board is required? Just the flow right? To adopt this real policy requires, is that right? Okay. It doesn't read right to me, so I was wondering if you could have it over.
Erica, I just wanted to say,
I'm really happy that you included staff members and members of the community may suggest to the board the adoption of new policies and revision. I really like that. Thank you.
Yeah, everything that we are doing is keeping the community as a whole in mind. Love it.
Hey, so both these policies will be brought back. Did we discuss if we're bringing them back at the next board meeting? Because we've now begun doing, so our next meeting is October 18th, October 18th. And that will be a work session that's open to the public, but I don't think that want to vote because we want to make sure that there's public comment. So we'll be holding it until, what is the date? November 1st. That's when these policies will come back. All right.
We did discuss going forward, so everyone knows that because we do have so many policies that we will be putting forward. We will be able to read first readings during work sessions. We just will not vote on them during work session because we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to come to the podium or email us and about them. You know, everyone deserves that opportunity.
Okay. Now we're moving to committee reports. Does anybody have any committee reports?
We have a few.
I think we have safety committee to the left.
So for the safety meeting, one of the things that we are really looking to do in our district is CRG mapping, which is where I'm trying to find the words.
So it's they basically turn the buildings into a grid system by
Almost
floor
like
and by region.
battleship.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that this
That's
way,
how it's explained to us, yeah.
regardless of anyone's familiarity with the building, they could look at a map, orientate themselves, and be able to respond to the appropriate area for whatever emergency or situation would require support from people not familiar with the building. And I believe the PO is issued and the mapping is underway. I think we are beyond the conversation component. I think we're in the process of having those maps.
And we're looking to see if we want to change anything building wise before we do the CRG maps, because once we do that, we don't want to change anything in our buildings.
Right.
Because it will be on the map for them.
And then today, this is not really from the safety committee meeting, but it's in general, that tomorrow FEMA is doing a national alert on everyone's cell phone. So don't panic. You get a FEMA alert next tomorrow. I think it's about 2 p.m. Eastern, right? 2:20. So you'll be getting FEMA alerts. And then additionally, we will be resending out a communication from the district regarding, it went out on July 28th, I believe, in a newsletter from the superintendent, but it'll be the reminder so that everyone can understand and be familiar with lockouts, lockdowns, and so forth and so on, because sometimes people use those words interchangeably, and in reality, they mean very, very, very different things. So please pay attention to that. Keep a copy of that infographic and use it.
So that information went out.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
last
good.
went to back to school nights in the elementary schools, every parent was provided with a copy of those.
And you resent that today?
Yeah.
Awesome, thanks. I didn't
And then
check my-
one other thing that kind of overlaps from safety to facilities is the CAF at UB, which is almost done minus the railings. Almost, we're so close.
Final steps that they're waiting on
The rail.
furniture in the new seating, right, Claire?
The truck is arriving tomorrow night about 8 o'clock. I'll be there to accept it.
Yay.
And we are hoping to have our grand opening on Tuesday.
Oh my goodness, that's the BB elementary school cafeteria. That deserves a excitement. Right? It's basically on,
Yeah, which projects usually don't end up on schedule, so that's great. Thank you. All right, so anybody on this side over here have any updates?
So we had audit committee. So we did meet for the first time this year and we did review the community's interest in the audit committee, and we chose our community representative for this year. And then we'll be having our next meeting August 7th, and we'll be talking about October. Sorry, did I say August? October 7th. Be meeting with our auditors at that time. Then facilities, we talked about the BB cafeteria, was like the big one. We did talk about that a lot. But we also met with our architect to go over, our next steps for capital projects. Steph, you want to go over specific?
Well, didn't we say that we should like come
We needed-
in January?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
we needed more time to.
The architect.
The architect was gonna come back with something, I think, next month for us to dive a little deeper.
Right, I mean, I think we sort of narrowed our topics a little bit of the things we want to focus on. But they're gonna come back and we'll be presenting to the community the items that we want to move forward with for capital project. Yes, for vote in 2024, May 2024.
I think everyone, I don't have to give a policy update because I think that we do that every meeting. I feel like that's what I work on every day. It's very, very important work. Just so everyone knows, I'm looking at it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13. There's 15 policies behind this group that we are working on.
Another one coming too.
And we said.
And yeah, I was gonna say, we're really looking at tech to
Yes,
update.
technology.
Technology is updating. We have a lot of work to do there. Thank you, Vanessa, for taking the helm there with us.
A lot of work.
A lot of work.
And then I'm gonna give an update to the community on, not the board goals.
We're getting there.
No, the committees, all these committees that we're working on. So just, we're very grateful for everyone that has, volunteered their time. And we're looking forward to starting all this work. We met as a shared, the district level team met last week to develop the shared decision-making plan that the site-based teams will use. And we are finalizing that. Education Elements is coming in to meet with our administrators this week, to give them some training on site-based teams, and how that will look in our buildings based on our plan. And then we are going to have, 5 separate trainings, probably virtually with Ed Elements with those groups. So I would, and I know we also have the SEL task force, we have the curriculum and development committee, and we also have the professional development committee. Everyone should be getting emails about this in the next couple of days. So I want to say that I think almost every single person that put their name in is on a committee. If you are not, there's other spots available, and Carmen will email you about that. But most importantly, it's very hard to pick. There was no rhyme or reason to this. I actually opened the random picker, put names in and literally pick names because we don't want to be perceived as picking or choosing or any of that. So I did it as fairly as I possibly could, which is legitimately picking from a hat. So, it's not a perfect process, but it's good to have more names than you need, right? So thank you everyone for that. So look for, updates. I think that's it.
So under our board comments and new business, this evening we have our NISBA proposed resolutions.
Do you want to do the board goals first? Yeah, we should do the board goals first. I think we should wait for we might just let everyone.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Or it's gonna take a while. It's gonna be a while.
Okay, so I will make a motion that we take a 5 to 10 minute break.
All right, motion second.
All in favor?
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
We're on. Okay. All right, we'll be back in about 5 minutes at 7:40-ish. Can I have a motion to return to our public session?
Motion to return to public session.
Can I have a second? All in favor? Okay, I'm gonna turn the mic over to Jen Bacher.
Oh, wait.
No, we're not.
Do board goals
Oh.
first. I think, yeah, we should do board goals.
Do we have to move that officially on the agenda?
Should we have? board goals here?
We announced it. I think it's fine. Announced it. You're gonna move it up.
Okay, all right, that's fine. So we have to do the district goals and the board goals?
I just asked.
Okay. Hey, Erica, are you gonna
do this? Hold on. I'm going to do it.
Want me to read for you?
Maybe, because I'm gonna,
Yes.
I'm gonna take notes and just, find it, and I'm gonna open it, and I'm gonna take notes as we discuss.
All right. So we can take turns too,
Yeah.
so that no one has to read everything.
That's
Okay,
great.
Jen's gonna read District Goal 1 and then, yeah, we'll circle around. Yeah.
Me and Lisa don't.
Say back to right. District Goal 1, enhance educational equity and excellence. Throughout the 2023-2024 school year, our goal is to advance educational equity and continuously enhance the structure of our schools spanning from UPK to 12th grade. We will collect and analyze data to monitor for progress, focusing on eventually achieving a minimum of a 95% student proficiency. We aim to improve current proficiency in math and ELA by 10% by the end of this academic year. We will utilize equity assessment tools and establish a dedicated curriculum committee, as well as site-based teams to drive programmatic improvements. We will engage in building level throughout thought exchanges and decision-making, including the December 6th vote on the structure of our elementary school. Does anybody have anything that they want to change, or do they like how that flows? Yep.
At the bottom where it says we will engage in building level thought exchanges and decision making, wouldn't we also be doing that with the community as well?
Yes, I think the intention there is probably because of the new site-based teams.
Yeah, with the sentence before it, right? I'm gonna be honest, I don't think we need that last sentence. at all.
Okay.
Is everyone in agreement on that?
Just end at the drive programmatic improvements.
Yes, I think the last we should do.
Okay,
Okay.
Oh, I like the thought exchanges because that's the comprehensive survey piece and I would like the community to be surveyed. So I mean, I know we're saying we're doing it, but putting it as a goal.
so we should say, we should just change.
Hold on a second. Does that fall under a different goal though?
No,
It does.
Does it come into our community engagement?
Yeah.
it does.
Is this about improving?
Educational equity, shooting for that 95% Dr. Laurel has said. I
As
don't
long
know.
as in here we have that we're surveying
believe-
the community.
I think that's cool.
It is, it talks about strategic planning, goal 5.
Yeah.
So I think that might be their stuff.
And we're also talking about, we will utilize equity assessment tools and establish a dedicated curriculum committee, as well as site-based teams to drive programmatic improvements. So why don't we just add, in here, community-based surveys? Right? Just add it. And then
Are you, sorry, just thinking, are you putting that right after where it said site-based team?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, that's goal 1.
Okay. Who would like to read district goal number 2?
Me.
Okay.
District Goal 2, enhance professional development for all staff. During the 2023-2024 school year, we'll enhance staff professional development through a new committee measuring success by 20% increased staff participation. Using tools like Frontline, peer-to-peer development, and model school catalogs and other offerings will provide relevant training. Furthermore, we will align with DEI goals, proposing tailored training by year end.
So I personally don't love the word enhance here. And when I was drafting this, I couldn't come up with anything better, so I was hoping you guys could. It's almost like a growth, strengthen.
Yeah.
You will, instead of will.
Yeah.
And after the word and other offerings, do we need a comma?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did we say we will instead of we will?
Yes, we are doing that.
So the 20%, is that a reasonable goal, Margaret?
20%.
I just want to make sure it's
Attainable.
gotta be smart.
Increased staff participation. Tell me what you mean by that.
So if 5 people took it last year, I think we want 20%.
So a lot of our,
right? Is that,
a lot of our PD isn't optional that way. It's done during the school day. So for argument's sake, we would say
the Algebra 1 team at the high school is getting 2 hours of release time to look at their test scores. And then building from that, they would examine the curriculum. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like, if it's an in-service, yes, that's optional and you would raise your hand to attend. But not all offerings. You know, some things that we're doing in the district, teachers do have a choice to participate right now.
Were we looking to go beyond just the PD days or the in-service staff? Is that what we were trying to say here, that we want to have more staff voluntarily going to PDs and that we are going to support that?
I think it would be nice to say that we would like to build our catalog of internal offerings. We've discussed that a lot. So people coming forward to offer something, yes.
Instead of, I'm reading it, thinking we could change. Yeah, just, I would take that out.
Okay. So now it reads, during the 23-24 school year, we will strengthen staff professional development through a new PD committee and growing our staff, and by growing our staff catalog. Using tools like frontline peer-to-peer development and model schools catalogs and other offerings, we will provide relevant training. Furthermore, we will align with DEI goals, proposing tailored training by year end. Okay,
Right. Sorry, I'm just gonna, for the committee, should we include who's on that committee at all? Like that it's community-based and staff-based, or we don't want to put that in there?
I don't know if it has to be as specific, but I think when we define what the PD committee is, then I think we add who makes that up, right? Because we do have to define that on our.
it is defined, so that is, PD committee is administrators, teachers, parents.
That's why I'm wondering if we should put like by creating a new committee, a new PD committee, which will increase course offerings or internal offerings, which will help to increase with offerings
The staff, parents, and administrators. I just changed, I left out PD committee and then I added the sentence, the committee will consist of staff, parents, and administrators. Correct?
Yes.
And are these tools all relevant, Margaret?
Yes.
All right, next.
Great. Goal 3.
District Goal 3, enhancing facilities and budget planning. In the 2023-2024 school year, we will aim to improve our facilities and budget planning. This includes a comprehensive review of our annual facilities budget, the development of a potential capital improvement project and plan, focusing on preventative maintenance and repair cycles in the educational environment of our students.
I think that's beautifully written.
Yeah, again, I don't like necessarily love the word like repeating enhancing,
But I like it.
but it fits this.
Mhm.
I thought of
Can we use updating?
updating facility, yeah, we can use updating.
That's kind of what we're doing. We're gonna just look at everything and then kind of go through what we need to do for each.
Okay, perfect. 4,
You try everything to get out of the camera.
District goal number 4, financial projections and budgeting enhancement. During the 2023-2024 school year, we will research over a 10-year financial projections with the aim of maintaining the tax cap. Additionally, we will explore the prudent application of fund balance while implementing a zero-based budgeting procedure. Implementing a zero-based budgeting will be achieved through comprehensive staff training and procedural development.
I don't know if we want to say procedure. Because we don't necessarily always have to do zero-based budgeting.
this is just
It's
this
just for
year.
this year. But are we creating a procedure? I don't think we're creating, I think you're just zero-based. Well,
I agree.
Zero-based budget.
So we should, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
We take out the last sentence.
We need to define those parameters, right? So as we roll it out.
Or
You
just
don't need
zero-based budget.
Got it. Okay. Everyone okay?
Yeah.
Goal 5, district goal number 5, facilitate community engagement, communication, and celebrate student and staff achievements. In the 2023-2024 school year, we will work to enhance the community engagement, communication, and celebrate student and staff achievements. We will achieve this by implementing monthly student and staff recognition, utilizing social media, parent square newsletters, and community outreach to foster a sense of belonging for all students and stakeholders in Hendrick Hudson. Concurrently, we aim to maintain and improve streamlined targeted communication with stakeholders, aligning with strategic plan pillars 3 and 4, clear and targeted communication and shared decision-making.
So I combined, we had 6 district goals, which is a lot. And 5 and 6 were very similar. So I just combined them. They had similar wording. I combined the 2 of them to create this, this goal.
Anybody have any changes? Okay. Okay,
Okay, now we're on to board goals.
Carmen, before we go to board goals, do we have to vote on these?
I would say yes.
Okay.
So we have to make the changes.
But
We have to make
I
the
think you're gonna
changes
bring them back
first
to the-
before, yeah, we have to make the changes first.
That's sad.
We didn't do that last year.
I was so excited.
Did we do that?
We didn't, but we can, I mean, we can. Right, we have to wait till November?
It's not a policy, but this is not a policy,
not a
it's
policy.
different. This is just, do we
But I
agree
don't-
on the language?
Okay, but this is the thing, right? If we have our work session next and nobody can come and say, hey, I don't like your district goals.
We
can
can
talk
email.
about that September 6th. Okay.
As I said, people can email.
Well, if
Very.
you also
So this is
voted
the second
tonight,
time
if you
already.
did vote tonight with no edits, you wouldn't give them a chance next week to talk to you.
And we did
So at the end of the day-
And we didn't make any.
Yeah, this is,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
This is like minor edits, and it's, yeah.
Okay, I don't know if we're not changing any goals.
Nope.
Yeah, minor word.
Hold on
Or we could do it at the workshop. Is that
I
more
think we should
appropriate?
vote on it.
Yeah,
Whatever you
I
guys
think
decide.
we should vote on it so we can get this going, no? We're already into
yes, that's what,
October.
yeah, we can vote. I mean, we changed minor details.
Yes, if we had
And we'll
rewritten
distribute
something,
that.
if we had rewritten one of these entirely, then it would be a different story.
Is everyone comfortable with that? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, can we have a motion to approve district goal?
Second, all in favor? Okay, all right, now we are going to move on to our board goals. And I will start with board goal number 1. Hire a permanent superintendent to lead the district. By December 2023, we will successfully complete the process of identifying, hiring, and onboarding the new superintendent for our school district, ensuring a seamless transition and effective leadership in place. That was amazing. Any changes? No.
No, but I just want to say that I am so proud of the work that we did to get here.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Goal number 2, me or you?
I'll read this time. Zero-based budget development. Throughout the 23-24 school year,
Whoa, it's the wrong word in there. School year.
we will implement a zero-based budget process led by the finance committee, including a clear timeline with intervals for line-by-line public discussion, fundamentally transforming the way we present the budget to the community.
Okay, good. Yep, perfect. Great. Board goal 3, policy updates. By June 30th, 2024, we will conduct a comprehensive audit of our policies in alignment with the NISBA recommendations made through a full audit of our current policy book. The audit, combined with district needs, will assess which policies need retirement, revision, or creation.
Okay, I'm gonna use the word adoption, creation and adoption, right?
Mm-hmm.
Want to say by June 30th?
By June 30th?
I want to say that date for sure, if they.
We should just, yeah. I think we just say we will conduct, we just take the.
Well, you're just conducting the audit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we are
You, it will be.
conducting an audit. And
And
we
it's a
are going
recommendation.
through our policies.
It's not saying that we're gonna have, although we did tell Dennis we were gonna get done.
We are,
We are.
girl, we are.
So
It's done.
the audit, I think we can commit to. It's not saying that we'll have all the,
It's not saying that. I don't read it that way. I read it as we're gonna get the audit done. We're gonna get the NISBA recommendation and we're gonna put a timeline in place to make it,
to assess what.
to assess. That's how I read this.
An audit with a list.
So we are gonna get.
And then we are, and then take it for 8 a month.
It's a lot. I'm enjoying it.
Board goal 4.
She's enjoying it. Wow.
I've read the emails.
I made a folder, Jeremy.
At 1:30 in the morning.
Board goal 4, examine district as a whole, physical and programmatic. During the 2023-2024 school year, we will conduct a holistic examination of our school district encompassing both physical and programmatic aspects. This examination will include a board December 6th restructuring vote, which will include a comprehensive facilities, education, and data review. We will seek to identify the essential needs of our schools and students through presentations by staff, integrating educational technology, AI, and other 21st century learner needs.
I don't like the
It
word
says
restructuring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No. Restructuring. Where?
the restructuring, remember we talked about it last time where I said it just implies that there will be a
Wait,
change.
what, reimagining? What?
Reimagining, I think was what, or it just, we can just say review of.
Well, we are voting whether we keep it or not.
No, we are, but the word restructuring means there will be a definite change that we're gonna determine on December 6th. If we are going to change or if we're gonna stay the same, we don't know.
So I guess,
I just feel like the
Oh,
word
just say
restructuring.
vote.
I should-
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
no,
yeah, the
yeah,
board
yeah.
vote on December
oh,
6th.
yeah, but also we had like, will include. It sounded weird. Oh, you got it ready?
Yeah.
This examination will include a board vote on December 6th. I don't like which will include, right? It's too wordy.
Or would the examination conclude with a board vote on December 6th?
Oh, this examination will, no, because it's
Are
not
we
done
ending
there.
Yeah.
Which one's the examination? Will include 6 period.
Number 6 vote.
This,
Yeah.
this involves a comprehensive facilities, education and data review. That's much better, yeah.
Yeah, you should have, we put involved.
Take it from the top.
Okay.
Do you wanna,
During the 23-24 school year, we will conduct a holistic examination of our school district encompassing both physical and programmatic aspects. This examination will include a board vote on December 6th. This involves a comprehensive facilities, education, and data review. We will seek to identify the essential needs of our schools and students through presentations by staff, integrating educational technology, AI, and other 21st century learner needs.
I think.
We need all that.
do you wanna take out the word AI because you're already including that?
Yes,
in
and
it?
technology.
Yeah.
And I think we should also put assessment of how tech and AI should be used to meet our students' needs. I don't think it should say integrated educationally into the word.
I think we should take out the word integrating. Right? That solved it. We will seek to identify the essential needs of our schools and students through presentations by staff. And it should say consultants,
So.
educational technology, and other 21st century learner needs.
So I like everything except our vote. Well, our vote is only talking about elementary school, right? And we're not, but we're examining this in theory for all of our
Right.
level, like. So let me ask you this, why does the K be in there?
It doesn't read what was in my notes.
I feel like we need to.
Yeah, this is just what was in my notes.
Yeah. No, I know.
We can remove it.
So because just remove that whole sentence? Yeah, because during the 23-24 school year, we will conduct a holistic examination of our school district encompassing both physical and programmatic aspects. This involves a comprehensive facilities, education, and data review. Yeah, there's no reason to do. Yeah, I mean, that's only one part of.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree.
Perfect.
Okay,
Yep.
board goal number 5.
Identify/implement strategic plan By June 30th, 2024, we will continue to identify, prioritize, and implement our strategic plan through a series of leadership meetings, regular check-ins, committee involvement, and the establishment of site-based teams and a district-wide shared decision-making team.
So when I reread this a dozen times today, I said to myself, do we include this date? So the entire strategic plan is not going to be implemented. That's not how this works, but we have to identify. So I thought the wording was pretty clear, but I'm reading this again and I don't know if it's as clear to the community as it is to us sitting here because we're very close to it. I think this just needs to say again during the 23-24 school year. Instead of the-
I don't know if, and the establishment of site-based teams and district-wide shared decision-making team, they're not, at the end of the day, the strategic, like, that's inputs,
Their input, their input,
but they're not
going to implement.
implementers.
No, they're going to provide input when necessary on the building level.
Right. So I'm not sure if that makes,
But we established the site-based team is based on recommendations
from the
from the
strategic,
strategic plan.
so, but that's not a,
I think we just end the
And committee involvement.
yeah.
Read this again, hold on a second. This one I.
Yeah.
I like actually the fact that we did put in the site-based teams and district-wide shared decision-making team. I don't know if I would want to remove that. I mean, I guess if we do, I wouldn't be so upset, but I almost feel like that was a huge part of the strategic plan is getting that community involvement into there, which I mean, it does say committee involvement.
I'm okay
Can you
with it.
say such as and name the teams that we created? Like committee involvement.
I think committee involvement kind of, or, I mean, is that supposed to be committee or is that supposed to be
Committees.
or is that community involvement, such as the establishment of site-based teams and like, I mean, that's really the community, right?
Well, it's district stakeholders.
Right, which is the community, I mean, however,
And district stakeholder involvement,
Including,
the establishment. Okay.
I'll read it again, okay? During the 23-24 school year, we will continue to identify, prioritize, and implement our strategic plan through a series of leadership meetings, regular check-ins, and district stakeholder involvement, including the establishment of site-based teams and a district-wide shared decision-making team. Good?
Okay. All right, can I have a motion to approve the 5 board goals for the 23-24 school year?
Motion to approve board goals.
Second, all in favor? Jeremy?
Mary.
We can put them together ever again.
She's overly organized, I can't.
really am.
We need to change these.
Yes. Over there. That was great. Yes. All right, moving on to our NISBA proposed resolutions. Jen is our wonderful NISBA. And Steph, sorry. Virtually. Which one of you would like to?
You want to explain this?
Are you gonna read them all?
Every single list. We're gonna go through the protocol. How about that? Lisa and I came to a consensus. So we're gonna go 20 at a time. If you feel that you want to discuss something different than what WESPA has, the meeting has agreed to, then we'll stop. We'll talk about it for 3 minutes. Let's try to keep it to 3 minutes so that we can continue on. And then we'll make it, if we talk about it, we'll make a decision based on consensus.
So we can support, oppose, and we can also abstain from a vote. So if we can't come to a consensus, we can just abstain if that's easy, if that is what we all agree. We are voting on these next week. That's why we have to do it today. And Steph and I will really try real hard to answer all your questions. So 1 through 10. Does anyone have any feeling different than what is shown?
I'm number 9. I sat through the meeting and I have my notes here. NISBA supports legislation to exempt expenditures related to school safety from the tax cap. So does that mean that we are taking all of the school safety expenditures and they can exceed the tax cap? By taking them out and making them exempt from the budget?
That's how I read that.
And so by supporting legislation that exempts school safety expenditures from the tax cap, the board joins forces with the New York State Board Association, other districts, in advocating for a comprehensive and sustainable approach.
I
So-
read it means that you don't need to make a decision between exceeding the tax cap and making your school safe.
So if you need to, like your SRO and all of I want all of this, but I'm saying, if you exempt that from the tax cap, does that mean, the way I read this, that you can then go over the tax cap?
Yes.
Probably because the differential would mean for safety.
Yes.
Well, I would rather New York State just fund it instead of the taxpayers. Imaging world, Lisa. But I mean, because if you put the SRO in there, and let's say your security guards and you all of the work to make the school safe, does that mean instead of the tax cap, you can go over 3 or 4%?
I think it's trying to say, they don't want you to not make schools safe by limiting yourself to the tax cap.
And I also think they're saying that you should make your education system a priority over safety. That's how I read that.
That's what I'm gonna say. I think it means don't put safety before or instead of everything else. That we want to have safety and everything else.
They support it. They support it, and they support it.
They do support it.
Yeah. All right, so we're good. I think we have to come to a consensus. Do we want to support it as is? Do we want to oppose or abstain? On
Steph, how do you
for number
feel?
9.
Steph, how do you feel?
Listen, I just want New York State to fund it instead of it being on the taxpayer, but I know that that's not gonna happen. So, I mean, I support it, I want schools safe, but I wish they said something about more funding in New York State should be supporting it, but school safety.
At the end of the day,
At the end of the day, I support it.
at the end of the day, we are the New York State taxpayer. One way or the other.
I know.
Okay, so 1 through 20. So the only ones, so 15, 17, and 20 are they did not make a decision. So do we want to make a consensus for us to make a decision, or do we want to abstain?
So
So number,
I want for all of this to be put into perspective. How many districts are there in New York State?
almost 700.
So we are 1/762nd of
Correct.
every decision. Just to put that into perspective.
And NISBA can only focus and advocate for so many items, topics in a year. So we want to make sure that we give them the best list of the items, the topics that we care most about. So that's also something to put in perspective. Just because you don't agree doesn't mean it's not important. It's just maybe not a hot topic for your district.
So we're voting 1 through 20 right now
1 through 20.
to agree to theirs.
To agree to theirs, but 15, 17, and 20,
Our
the
end date.
committee basically couldn't really come to a consensus. So we can be in that vote, or we can come to a consensus with a vote.
I agree with them on these.
So you want to stay with them? Okay. All right, 21 through 30.
We should vote. Last year we voted like officially on every one of them.
No, I think we voted on the ones that we were differentiating on.
Okay.
When we needed consensus. Okay,
Okay, we're 21.
Yeah, so 21 through 30. I'll point out number 22 and 23 were no decision. So 22 is about provisions of preschool educational service to special needs students, including section 4410 to remove specific barriers to the efficient and effective delivery of those services. And 23 is about full individual Wi-Fi and cellular access for every household across New York State. And that doesn't mean that it's not important, it just may not be important to your district at this time.
So I'm gonna call out number 25.
Okay?
Number 25 reads, NYSBA support legislation at the state level that would allow school districts whose pre-K programs are oversubscribed to show enrollment preference to students who would be eligible for free and reduced price lunch and or are English language learners. So that's basically, that's saying that they get priority seating over children that can afford outside preschool?
So right now, our preschool does not allow for those that are in need to be at the top of the list. It's just a lottery. So this would, and this is kind of new because I think it used to go by need.
Yeah,
So
so
when
it used to do this,
It
I
used to go
believe,
by need.
and then it became strictly lotto,
Yeah,
and they're looking to possibly
Push it-
put it back.
put it back to need. So I mean, it only applies to those who have pre-K programs and those who don't, or those who don't have it fully funded
So
for everyone.
I know this is, we're one vote of a ton, but I just want to go on the record here as stating that I don't support this because our pre-K program is putting our pre-K programs out of business. So like, if I was a parent here right now, I wouldn't have a pre-K program with my student in.
But technically it doesn't apply to us because we have the lottery.
No, but this is supporting going to this, New York State going to them.
So you're saying we've eliminated.
Well, it would
but that-
create a
yeah,
lotto
there's not-
once the need-based families are provided with a seat.
Right.
Then it would go to lottery.
But you have to understand, we had a lotto this year and only how many children were not provided pre-K? 8? 8. At the end of the day.
Erica, the ones who would, after the ones who are in need, get it, the lotto would go to everyone else. Those students who, from that lotto who don't get it, would go to a local.
There's
daycare.
no local, we have, like,
There's still
our community does not look like it
There's
used
no
to.
full day.
There's no full day. I would have no preschool option.
Right, yeah, this full day.
It's a daycare though.
It's a daycare, we don't have preschools anymore.
But they're gonna be able to
But we didn't
afford.
have a full day preschool before, did we?
Yes, we did. You mentioned your
Right.
Yeah, but that wasn't really because of UPK.
Right.
No, but I'm
That,
saying
we have to,
but for our, what I'm saying is we have to look at this from our community
now there is.
standpoint. We are going to have no preschool here soon. I personally don't support it. I don't think we're gonna eliminate the opportunity for our other students that can't afford it or will not have no way to go get an education. I'm speaking for our community.
Yeah. I mean, I did always think it should go need-based. I understand your point.
I did until this year, when I saw that we had 7 kids now.
I mean, I hope that, this is not a problem for us, because I hope we are able to fund it for all kids.
Exactly, yeah. I was gonna say,
That's my goal.
I'm hoping we can expand.
I agree. All right, so. Oh, only Erica and I spoke, so. Can we?
Do we want to support that? Do we want to oppose it? Or do we, I mean, I don't, it's fine. I just wanted to bring it up because to me, that is relevant here.
It is relevant. Do we have to vote on that one? Can we? I can abstain. That's better than supporting it. I'm not voting, so it doesn't, I don't count as either way, so I can. So I guess this one. A motion to revise the. Yes. You want me to do that? Or you want to do it at the end? No, I have to do it now. No. Okay, I motion to revise the Westcott consensus from support to the Hendrick Hudson to no decision. On number
25.
item 25. Second?
Second. All in favor? We had consensus. Consensus.
I raised my hand.
Yes.
Yeah, you did, okay, 1, 2, 3, did you raise your hand? I raised mine.
I mean, because our consensus was that we would do, right.
Oh, was that for?
So our consensus was no decision.
No decision, yeah.
So I'm voting
abstaining.
against or,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, then I'll
That's,
vote
sorry,
for that,
yes,
yeah.
okay.
I will vote to abstain.
That was a little confusing.
Or wait till
Okay.
you do the opposing of the opposed and whether.
I can't, no.
So the ones that say no decision, we're comfortable with those, I'm gonna proceed, okay?
How about free lunch?
What number?
The number,
30.
We're not there yet.
Oh,
Going.
no, the 30 was last one. Oh,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, 30. So they support it, and their asterisk is 30. We support school meals for all students to reduce the paperwork burden on parents and districts. The federal government should provide universal school meals. Priority should be given to funding students, families who need it most, potentially requiring an increase in the income level of free and reduced lunch. Limits.
It prioritizes those in need.
So as long as it's those, like, so that is my only concern. I'll use myself as an example. My kids don't need free lunch. I don't want the state's money, which comes from the taxpayers,
Or federal.
or federal, which comes from all of us, to subsidize people who have no problem paying for their kids to eat. I have no problem making sure we supply breakfast, lunch, and take-home food for any kid who's gonna be hungry. There's a very marked difference. I just understood that to mean all students get free lunch, which sounds to me like growing government for no true benefit, as long as the kids who are in need of food are getting food.
I mean, nobody knows anybody's situation. You could go from a parent that has it today, does not have it tomorrow. So if the federal government is gonna pay for lunch for all of the kids, I would rather it be there so that we can ensure that everybody is eating, right? Instead of it being, we're only giving it to this subset of people who are in need. Because some families might not wanna say they're in need, right? But if the option is there and kids are in school, they can just go and say, hey, I want lunch and it's free, it's available. Let them have the choice to not say they want it.
My opinion on that is when you offer free and reduced lunch, you have to follow federal guidelines. So there's a tremendous amount of lunch that goes in the garbage. The kids don't eat it because you can't have salt in the food. It has to follow guidelines. Now, your high school that has very tasty lunch here,
We're not on the.
you're not on the free and reduced lunch. So if you now make all schools follow it, the program you have at the high school would be removed because you would be offering all kids free and reduced lunch. And you could no longer have the lunch that everyone loves and eats here because it's for profit. They're not following the guidelines.
I'm not sure if that's entirely true because we do have. A parent can fill out the free and reduced lunch form for the high school and get that lunch.
But once you have all students receiving it, we can check with Claire.
I would need to.
But I am pretty sure that if everyone goes to free and reduced lunch, you all have to follow those state mandates. And I know that this is something for me because I think some kids don't eat the lunch because, well, we can take a little community survey, little thought exchange on how many of our students do not eat it. And then they go hungry because they don't want to bring it. And hungry kids are behavioral problems. So I get the point, and I agree with you with having it available. But if you do it for all, and we can no longer have that program at the high school. I think that we have to think about what that means going forward. That's my only point.
Again, we're one of many districts that's gonna vote, and I think just seeing you support something that's gonna offer all kids lunches. We can go around and everybody's gonna have, but it's a free lunch. Like, I don't wanna.
Nothing in this world is free.
I hear you, but that is one thing I will say, kids going hungry or being in school hungry, even if their families are well off, maybe lunch was packed for them and they don't like what they have, but they saw something on the line that the other kids are getting and they want it. let's give them that option.
Well, they have.
We don't deny children.
We do not deny, our board
If
policy
they're-
does not deny children.
If the child is hungry, they don't have food, we're giving them food.
That's right.
I understand that. I'm just saying for us to support something that offers free meals to all kids in the district. I don't think it's gonna make or break us tonight.
Okay, so let's come to a consensus. Do we support this or do we, I mean, we support it with, they didn't revise the resolution, but I believe, you know, they're looking for priority should be given to funding students and families who need it most.
I'm fine with that. So I'm fine with this asterisk.
All right,
Are we going?
okay, so we're leaving it. So we're leaving it, right? Yeah,
Yeah, we're
okay.
leaving it.
Okay, Jeremy, are you good?
Yeah.
31 through 40. All right, so we start getting to a lot of that are opposed, so, make sure you realize when we agree, we're voting to oppose them. Through 40. Jeremy, have any?
No.
What are we going to do?
Okay, yes,
I think I'm good.
okay,
Oh, no,
These are all being.
hold on, wait, no, 37.
30.
These all.
Lockdown drills?
They're opposed to it.
Yeah, they want to oppose
Yeah.
legislation that would reduce the required number of lockdown drills. Like, I don't know that I would say that we should oppose something that detracts from safety without at least talking to our safety consultants and asking them.
So, you know, we're opposing the fact that we want to reduce them.
Yeah, we want to keep them
We
as.
want to keep them, I think,
okay.
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to tell you, we're opposing.
Thank you.
Okay,
Before we vote, can we just talk about 36? NISBA supports the repeal of the law that mandates all school vehicles be zero emission vehicles. So they're opposing the repeal of the law.
36.
Are we getting money?
Not as of right now.
Well, there's grants
Grants
available,
available that we have to put in for, we didn't qualify for them in the past.
so I'm not sure.
We're not sure if we do now. Last year, we apparently did not.
It wasn't this law saying it was
2027.
2027, that law says that all of our buses have to be electric. Isn't one electric bus $100,000?
Oh, no.
It's like 100,000.
No, no. A regular buses. More than that.
It's like 160.
65, we just did the,
So it's, I think, like double, right? I think that's roughly.
I mean, I'm not against going to zero emissions, but I think that the 2027, like, I honestly, they have to, I think they have to change the date and the wording of the law. Because I don't even think New York State's gonna have the money to give you for this. I mean, 2026 COVID money runs out for New York State, and then,
So I would support an extension. Not necessarily a repeal, but
I'm not supporting a repeal. I'm just saying that that law says 2027.
So number 19, it says NISBA advocates for the state to conduct a feasibility study of review regarding utilities, infrastructure, logistics, and fiscal aspects of the zero emission school vehicle mandate and to revise the mandate as the reviews studies deem necessary. And we support that. That was what we agreed to support. So, I mean, we could,
I mean,
I don't know, not opposing, supporting it. I'm not sure if that's what we want to do either, because
no,
we
I
want
don't,
to do the.
I want to do zero
We want to do
emissions.
19, we definitely want to do 19. We want them to go do the study and figure out what exactly needs to get done.
okay, so that's gonna, it goes back to 19.
Yeah,
Okay.
wait, what? I missed that.
It goes back to 19 to review it. So they're supporting a review of.
So ultimately, the committee felt that formally evaluating what changes may be made for all districts statewide as suggested in proposed resolution 19 was the preferred advocacy direction.
Okay, that I agree.
Okay. All right,
40, now we're on 41.
41 through 50.
You have the notes on 41, I'm just curious.
41? Yep.
Okay.
So New York State includes a legislative priority issue, changes in the educational law allowing districts to vacate the position of a teacher or teaching assistant on leave for 1 year or more. So the explanation, the committee has concerns that this resolution may have negative impacts with regards to the rights of disabled individuals or give rise to a liability for districts and BOCES.
Okay, that's what I wanted to.
The committee felt that the scope of the current allowances provided by the state was appropriate. Any other? Different than what is written.
Number 47, can we just address that? NISBA will advocate for adoption of parental rights legislation.
Yeah.
They oppose that? So that we have the rationale as parents have the right to determine the upbringing of their children, which includes but is not limited to matters of education, medical care, and character education. This legislation must protect the parents' right to make decisions for their children, in addition to opt their children out of any non-academic instruction that they morally or religiously object to. And then the explanation is the committee expressed their belief that public education, which is guaranteed and open for all, is inherently different from the expectations of a private or homeschooled education. The committee also noted that current law already provides parents with the right to inspect any instructional materials used as part of the educational curriculum for the students. The committee further noted they generally agreed with the sentiments and votes from last year when a similar resolution was not recommended. I don't know. I think, I mean, I remember being back in high school and having friends who were Jehovah's Witnesses that had issues with certain curricula that was in health class and their parents exempted on a religious. I don't want to take that out of parents' hands. Like anything educational. I'm just saying that parents, I don't know. I think.
So you're not with the opposition.
I'm not with you.
So she, right. The thought is to support advocating for parental rights legislation.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
yeah,
I mean, everything we've been doing is shared decision making and letting parents be involved.
Steph, there was a part in what you read before, if you can look back, that mentioned character.
That's what he said. Matters of education, medical care, and character education. I do, that's your SEL. Your social, Margaret, what did you say that they're referring to social emotional learning?
Those are hard things to require because not everyone's beliefs are the same.
I don't know, I think that you kind of have to be respectful of everybody's beliefs. I mean, when it.
I mean, and this only, the rationale is for non-academic instruction, right?
Non-academic.
It has nothing to do with that.
So it's not like you can't opt out of math, right? I mean,
Who would do that?
Yeah. So, I mean,
think you have to be respectful of everyone's beliefs and customs, and we're saying that. And if they wanna opt out of something that, or they have something that's reading, that the book that they're reading is something that does not, it's offensive, that they get something else to read. And I think we've done that.
We offer that. They offer that.
We do that.
I'm offered already. So if you look at it.
But this is taking that away, right?
Yeah,
This says,
it is.
this is saying that they don't want to allow that to happen, so it is happening. But if we oppose something like this, then we may no longer be able to have that. And my concern would be, it's simple, and it doesn't matter where we are in any one argument. I worry that if they do it with you, they'll do it to you, and you may agree with whatever the mainstream idea coming down the pipe is today, but if you set these things up and it's something you disagree with tomorrow, there's now a policy that says you can't opt out for what's best for your family. That is of some concern to me, to take people's choice away. I think we have a responsibility to protect all the different perspectives out there from one another and not control dining table conversation.
So I'm just wondering where exactly this came from, what issue they're having, and they must be having an issue in their school district.
I mean, I don't think. These
Once again, I'm gonna go back to
these
my
are
high
from
school
lower New
experience.
York
You're
schools
going-
that I see.
All over. I mean, in Rockland County, there are people who opt out of things for religious beliefs,
And they should be able to.
but this is saying that you can't.
Is it possible that the parental bill of rights has a different connotation?
No one's gonna be my question.
So, meaning what?
I don't know, the way that it's there, and I'm looking at the school districts. I'm wondering if there's a different connotation to the parent bill of rights. As
Are you
opposed to
Googling
some
it?
of the things that
Are you
you're
Googling?
I want to know where Seaton is.
referring to.
Section
I mean, I agree with you,
46
what you're
start.
saying, but I'm not so sure that
Why? Well, now you're raising
phrase,
point.
parent bill of rights.
Everyone at home, when I'm on my phone, I have notes and I'm checking Google Drive. As beneath the notes, my computer's not get online here. I know, I have to bring my computer into you. So let's see.
You gotta see
I don't know the answer to that, but
You know what, that's actually a good question because I want to know what it
Doesn't define it.
Okay, so this is not ChatGPT. It's Google. The purpose of the Parents' Bill of Rights is to provide information to parents, which also includes legal guardians or persons in parental relation to a student, and eligible students about certain legal requirements that protect personal.
that's parent bill of rights. This is parent
Rights
legislation.
Parental, right.
Know all about parent bill of rights. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I would, we're, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say we.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't know.
We need more information.
We got abstained, and I think that's.
All right. So no decision. So make a motion for item 47 to revise our vote from abstain to no decision. From opposed. Sorry, that's a good one. Sorry. Opposed. Okay, second. All in favor? There.
I keep going, to my right, yes.
All right. So I think we now to the end. 51 through 56, or unless there's anything else we didn't go over.
You want to oppose, to oppose?
Do you know why they chose to oppose 52?
So the committee discussed some of the potential benefits of school resource officer programs. However, the committee felt that this proposed resolution was too prescriptive and was overall in favor of local control over what is best for district safety. The committee also noted this issue would generally be addressed by district schools' safety plans. Lastly, the committee felt there was not enough information from the submitting district as to what the exact nature of what this proposal would entail.
So they're just saying they don't want a rule, but every safety plan within the district should evaluate their need.
They're just, right, they're leaving it to the local rather than to mandate or to advocate to prioritize certain requirements.
Question, 51. What does this mean? They oppose the.
Will oppose any
To oppose.
reduction in the requirements.
But they're opposing to the opposition.
So the committee recognized NISBA's current position statement to oppose legislative mandates. The committee also upheld that one of the central roles of the state education department is to streamline curriculum and learning standards to ensure universal expectations for all students. So this was one we did talk about.
I think this goes with the Blue Ribbons Commission and reimagining graduation requirements for all students.
Those reductions.
So right now, they're working and they're actually talking about, I think it's actually gonna happen, taking away Regents exams. Conversation. So I think that's where this comes from. I don't think they're taking away all Regents exams.
What's the rationale?
To give alternate pathways to graduation for students. So if you think about a long time ago when we went to high school, you didn't have to take all the Regents exams. If you went to BOCES, you didn't take the Regents exams and you still graduated. But now, if you go to BOCES, you still have to do all of those Regents exams. So it's just giving kids alternate pathways to graduation.
And that coordinates back to, that was number 20 on here as well. To eliminate the Regents exam. That was number 20 on the list. Sorry. Number 20 also talked about that and they said they come up to no decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think they preferred the language on that one as opposed to the other.
Yeah.
Everything in education goes back and is recycled. So if we go 20 years ago, you did do final exams, not everyone took the Regents. If you
I mean, I
stayed long
think,
enough with them.
I believe the intent was probably, they thought it was to create more rigor, but what it probably did is created, it did not do that. It probably forced people into paths that they wouldn't have already, that they wouldn't have chosen. I mean, or limited them.
I think it also creates, there were unintended consequences.
The unintended
Yeah, I mean,
consequences were the kids who were going to BOCES.
It's
Or,
not just children that go to BOCES, it's children that have, special IEPs or special accommodations in school and, things like that. It's unintended consequences.
and they are looking at portfolio assessments instead of Regents exams.
Were we good?
So,
I think Jeremy wants us to start back at number 1.
Yeah, line by line.
so are we saying opposed or what, how do we feel?
saying opposed.
Okay.
Everybody agree?
I actually think some Regents exams should stay, like math, the algebra Regents, don't kill me, but I think there are some Regents exams that should stay and some that should go.
Or maybe they just need to be reimagined.
The New York State Department of Education.
Reimagine. Well, we're reimagining them for June 4th this year.
What's that?
The new math Regents, June 4th. That would be reimagined.
So all right, so I think we're okay with proposing. Any other topics, discussions on any of the 1 through 56? Except for the few that we revised. Okay. That was great.
That's your ticket, Robert. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. We do have to vote on all of, on our changes.
Well, I did. No, oh, we don't have to vote on the ones that are staying. We're good. Just to vote on it. We only voted to change the ones that we wanted to change. Okay.
Yeah, just making sure.
1 minute, we're just. You have one more?
We're done.
I'm sitting.
No, I think you do have to vote on all of them, like you have to
Yeah.
say, yeah, I think you do.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think back where we did that.
Just one back. You good? Yeah. Okay. So I'll just go down 56 and say our vote. And then can we vote out at the end, or we have to vote for each single one of them?
No, I think you just say 1 through whatever it was,
Okay.
56.
Okay, number 1, support. Number 2, support. Number 3, support. Number 4, support.
No, we didn't, that's just.
Number 5, support. Number 6, support. Number 7, support. Number 8, support. Number 9, support.
I think we were abstaining from 9. Oh, no, we weren't,
No,
sorry,
one is
sorry.
done.
That was me.
10, support. 11, support. 12, support. 13, support. 14, support. 15, no decision or abstain. 16, support. 17, abstain. 18, support. 19, support. 20, abstain. 21, support. 22, abstain. 23, abstain. 24, support. 25, abstain. 26, support. 27, support. 28, support. 29, support. 30, support. 31, oppose. 32, support. 33, oppose. 34, oppose. 35, oppose. 36, oppose. 37, oppose. 38, oppose. 39, oppose. 40, oppose. 41, oppose. 42, oppose. 43, oppose. 44, oppose. 45, oppose. 46, oppose. 47, abstain. 48, oppose. 49, oppose. 50, oppose. 51, oppose. 52, oppose. 53, oppose. 54, oppose. 55, oppose. 56, oppose. I'd like to make a motion to vote 1 through 56 as stated.
Can you reread those?
I second. All in favor? All? Okay, we made it through. Does anyone want to sit online with me?
It's hours. It's, I did it last year. I think it was how many hours?
Oh my God.
It was like a day.
Like one day.
Enjoy it. We can split it up if you want.
Can I have a motion to close the meeting?
Motion for the meeting.
Second. All in favor?